All right. Zano Bumatal.
Aida, see.
Yage. So, amwene.
Yes.
Over the weekend, Makaya Navaya, Afothi Navaya ku Ameris Hotel, of which they had an event.
Yeah.
So I understand. It's something that the people have been expecting, for 4 solid years,
yes.
And it's an event that is very important to everyone.
Yes.
All right. So we expect people to enjoy, and
yes.
It happens once.
Yes.
Each and every 4 years. Komano, there is a congregation, something that is not still understood up to date.
Yeah.
About the mismanagement of funds from the committee and the SRC.
Yes.
So we had to invite you because you're also one of the 4th year guys.
Yeah.
And I think you know much better.
Yes.
And you can explain to the people what happened for people to understand.
Yes.
Because till date and start conversing with ngini in the more time. Right. So I would ask firstly, tiyambe pa chiyambe kuchokera pansi kuti kodi drama kuti zichoke ku committee. Ya final
zikapezeke manja mwa SRC. All right.
Zinthu zake zinaenda motani.
All right, bobo. Okay, man. Finale dinner inamba kupangidwa organize. Nthawi yabwino kwambiri.
Okay.
You understand it?
Yeah, I understand.
We started organizing, or I should say people started organizing the finale dinner on a good time.
All right, sir.
The idea behind was that sometimes bureaucracy can delay ngini.
All right, Mata.
Okay?
Yeah,
so finale is new. There might be a delay for the SRC to be cleared by the DOSA for them to start arranging the dinner for us.
Okay.
Under normal circumstances, this is what is supposed to happen.
Okay.
We are finalists, like we are the ones leaving. It's a send-off ceremony.
Yeah,
so the SRC, which is a legit student body, is supposed to organize a dinner for us.
Yeah, man.
This is something that happened last year.
Okay.
Last year is us who organized the dinner for the finalists who were here by then. Okay, and everything went on smoothly. Now, just because there were delays from the SRC's part, I quote what they have been saying. They say they were not being cleared by the DOSA.
Okay.
There was a delay in clearance for them to start organizing it. Now, finalists took it on themselves. They started working on it because it's their thing.
Yeah.
You see? So now they organized themselves and came up with a finale dinner committee, which the class elected. You see? Now, this is what happened. They were paying the money to the finale dinner committee. Understand? 70K per person.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's 135K per the cup.
Yeah.
Now, dola hii man, chimechinachitika nchonena kuti there were some conditions. Last minute conditions amene amaperekedwa. Amene amachitika ma meetings amene amachitika on last minute between SRC and the finale organizing committee. You get it?
All right.
Now, chimene chinachitika nchonena kuti boys hii SRC inabwera ndi condition. They said for us to release the money for the SRC. In fact, they were saying the DOSA says. You get my point?
Yeah, I get.
They say the DOSA says for the SRC to release money from which is a public account, the SRC account, students account, they need the money that the finalists have contributed to enter into the SRC account.
Okay.
Are you getting my point?
Amafuna kaya drama zonse zimene makaya abanga assemble, of which if I can count, we were close to 200 and something.
Man,
we're almost above 15 million Malawi kwacha.
Man, tukamba zuna kuti this whole money was taken.
Okay.
Ryan Kabambe was the treasurer.
All right, I get.
Okay.
I get.
So Ryan Kabambe and Franco Nkumba, they were selling tickets.
All right.
Only these two people were selling tickets.
Yeah, I get, because I also.
And the people that I'm mentioning here, no one can say kuti anthu awakoza kuti adola man.
Sangadi.
They are people who were entrusted by finalists.
Yeah, of course.
Anatenga dola yose mene boys inabereka. Of course, to be precise, should be 13 point something million.
Okay.
I can't be exact on the figures. Ndikuipasa SRC.
So say.
Dola ndikuitenga ndikuipasa SRC. Mundivesese?
All right.
What was the expectation? The expectation was, these guys were, they came last minute, man. Just 4 days before the dinner. 4 to 5 days before the dinner. Now, anena kunena kuti, they were supposed to pay for the artist. Patience Namadingo. In fact, the original arrangement was that we should have Mafinales wanted Elia Njoji to perform on the dinner.
Okay,
on that particular night. But now, management here Elia Elia Njuti, Manda Zunaguri, their artist is what? Is engaged.
All right.
That's when SRC came in and said, no, take it easy, we're going to pay for that, for the artist, and the artist is Namadingo as a substitute.
One of the best.
Yes, one of the best artists in Malawi.
And of course, I think that made a lot of finalists to pay.
Nyamata White
Right,
movement.
just to attend.
People were expecting Gudi Akaone, Nyamata White movement,
Yes,
white shirt movement.
yes, of course,
You
yes,
see?
of course, yes,
So
of course.
this is what happened. Dola inapasidwa with expectation. Kuna kuti atenganso dola inake yako SRC account ndikuiphatikiza ndi dola imene tapereka ija ndi ndalama imene aina DK Dr. Kabambe analonjeza kuti akatani akapereka koma sananene amount, specific amount by then. Yeah.
It was a promise.
So we had high hopes kuti ngini ikakhala sharp.
Yeah.
You get my point?
And to expectations, this was supposed to be the best finale dinner that has ever
Exactly.
happened. Because
Now,
a lot of people pay.
exactly. Now,
Enjoy their moment.
this is what happened. Boys ya SRC inapasidwa dola. Man, zinamba kuvuta mamawa. Departure time ya first trip inayi wani. Inayi half 10, yeah? Inayi half past 10.
Amwene
Boys
leo-
maina zinyamuka.
leo-
Boys sina nyamuka.
To my experience, I should also add on this to say that everything was just misorganized. All right. I also, I and other guys, the Adiga, Andrew Maxmino, just to mention a few, we also had to, use our transport money
I did the
to
same.
reach that place.
I did the same as
Okay,
well.
of which is very bad.
So now you find out kuti boys timapanga we had high expectations. Dola imene inaperekedwa kwa Emirates Hotel inapereka ndi final dinner committee achina Nzati. Nzati was the one who was coordinating. Ndamene anapereka before the money was handed over to SRC 150k. You know what happened? When we reached to Emirates Hotel, everything was stuck. I say tichonse kuyimiratu.
Fluguru.
I say committee ija yakumana. There's no one wa SRC kumene kuja. No one, if I say no one, completely no one.
And I heard no one was answering the phone calls.
Man, ndio unapeza zina kuti boys undiyitana ineyo. Team ya finale dinner. Kuna kuti Mr. President, can you come? I was like, no, point of correction. I am not the president.
Yeah.
We have a president. Let us respect that fact.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So they say, this is the what? This is the situation at hand. I was like, okay. Zijonche. Okay, fine. I called the president. I called Cheese. Didn't pick. I called again. He didn't pick. Anandiyembera pa WhatsApp. Kuna kuti, man, apapa ndiri kukoti. Tikupanga majani, ma practicals. I said, okay, papo. So, kenako, I started explaining to him. Kina yake chonch. Kena unapeza una kuti, ine naona ngazimene zutani zutichedesa. I called the dosa 3 times sana ndi yanke. Man, the pressure was increasing.
Yeah.
My guest was abwera, my guest speakers abwera. We were supposed to act on that. So I had to call the DVC. The DVC luckily connected
What
me
time
to the
was
doors.
that? What time was that?
That was past 8, man.
Past 8.
A function that was supposed to
8
start at a function that was supposed to start at 6 p.m.
All right.
You can look at my face. Am I looking happy?
No.
Ndikuonanga ndikusangala ine.
Went.
I deserved a better send off.
And I'm also angry for that matter.
I deserved a better send off.
Yes,
man.
of course. Yes, of course, Matav.
Natokesa nda DVC anatipanga connect kwa dosa. Nangu anda dosa, the dosa was telling me kuti, can you give me number ya manager wa Emirates, I should talk to them. I'm not trying to discredit the dosa. He tried his best because the SRC messed up. And I can't blame the dosa. The SRC messed up. And when I'm talking about SRC, I'm talking about Antoine SRC president and Apanga in trust because they should be the ones to handle this finale deal. Do you understand? They messed up big time and they feel the wounds are still yet to heal in my heart.
Yes, Matav.
And finale wina yesa kwenda ni kuyo.
Olo ineyo panopa ndiwonyasika komanso okwiya kwambiri.
I say sana lipire kwa single coin after giving them money in millions. Sabi nakana ngotenga ko dollar yatu yokayo.
And I saw some of them. They were right.
I will reach to that point.
They were right.
Nifika ku point
Okay, let's go.
Mani, nde unapezi kazona kuti. We started banging heads as a committee. We were forced to explain to the one that Dr. Kabambe dedicated what is happening. Afuna alowe koma sisi tukujambika what is happening. It took Ryan money explaining the situation boldly. Kuti ngini ili chonchi. Abwana china fotokozera. It's like that. Okay, fine. Koma DK has pledged 5 meter. 5 million naperekedwa. Koma still more. We need to pay more money. The money is with the SRC account.
So we can't access the place because we have got no money while we pay.
Fucked up, man.
All right. Okay. One of the things is we are talking about money that people have worked for extra high, you understand?
I said ukambafuna kuti need drama yakanatha kuitenga mwina ndikufaya pena pake KFC ndi boyfriend wake ndi girlfriend wake ndikasangala kumene kuitenga drama imene ndikupanga ndipo
I overheard one of my friends calling his people for that money. All right? Because, after 4 years, we have passed through a lot. Supplementaries, everything that has happened. It's a bumpy road.
Man,
reaching this far, we need to have fun.
Now, luckily enough, door inaperekedwa.
Okay.
The venue was opened. Door yaperekedwa kuti chose kuza ndi food. Ndrama yake ndi iyi. That deputy manager gave the money. On the conditions I cannot explain ababa pa public manoba. Kumano the money was what? Was given. Talo wankati mujati pasa makuponi function ya yamba. So when we started struggling with the artist, they promised that they will bring us Dr. Namadingo. And where's still? I am the one who released the poster. Yeah, Namadingo.
Yes.
Mr. Namadingo kuda kuzapanga perform. Dineyo and people were happy. I'm the one who released that poster. People trust me. I have my followers who look it up. I'm not trying to brag, I'm saying the truth.
Yeah, of course, that's true.
So, in as long as my reputation is concerned, I released that poster of Namadingo performing at the finale dinner. And people trusted.
You're one of the trusted people at this institution.
And people paid last minute because of that.
Of course.
Man, let me continue. Tafika kumene kuja za dinners za ma payments za pangiro suit. Kani avula so bano ndi artist. Ine ndi ma contacts ana ndi conversation yana Namadingo.
Yeah, of course.
I can even show people.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if the camera can come close. I can even show right now.
Yeah, of course.
Okay?
All right. But I would say for his maybe for his
privacy. Okay, fine.
All right.
So there's a conversation that I had with Dr. Namadingo.
Yes, of course.
Aseguyesisa kulowera kuti chabu no feel tikakupa sanimita zitheka. Kumano, I understand him, he is an artist. He told these guys, he gave them conditions. Confirm that our people were filming 4 hours before. 4 hours before, meaning to say he was supposed to plan. We can't blame him. But we are pushing the blame on SRC. On SRC, I'm talking about the committee that the president entrusted to be handling this. Man, ine ndo duga mutu.
Yeah.
Mundiva, ine ndo kone ngati kape.
You are not.
Ine ndo kuzoa zimene ndugu yangu.
You are not.
Because last year, I say, I organized the finale dinner. Yeah, fans. SRC took part. I appointed the then GS, James Nkari. Man, ngini naenda sharp, I say. And you guess what? There is 10 million that was given to Kumene Ujago with one of the sponsors.
Amazing.
Chicho inapangida soda and kuna sandama Kumene Ujago 4 million. You know what?
Imagine.
Finale is going to Kunjanja for free. I had high expectations. Man, kuli ma awards amena machita Kumene Ujago. If you tinapanga source as SRC tinapanga source dola na kuti winner aliyesa amena apangidwa award Kumene Ujago. Amahoro kandi 100k. Amena apangidwa award kawiri amahoro kandi 200k. Katatu amahoro kandi 300k.
Mugumva.
Bullshit.
Okay. So reaching this far, tafika kumene kucha, people expected the best. All right, out of this. Knowing much better, kuti ndrama imene alipira yonso ndi yambiri. Chifukwa if I can recall, ma finale dinner ina wasizoti zimafika mpaka na kulipira 70,000. Nkhani pakati paso panabwera nkhani kuti mwina mwake anthu can be, the money can be reduced to something like 60,000.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, of course that's very true. That is very true, and this was the expectation. SRC ikalongoswa china chilichonse everything according to initial plan. Zimamveka adi. And my plan amene analipo.
Okay.
Unakuta this maybe kale what 60k should be reduced. Koma nanga singini yose yafoira.
Okay, and
banoba ngini yose yafoira. Let me go straight to the point banoba. Chimeje kufunika banoba nditani. Ngakhala kuti mnandifunse koma
all right, that's the question because it's what all the finalists are asking out there. Banoba, what do we have to expect to happen next?
Money. Going straight to the point. Yes, I've seen the apology coming from the president. And in fact, President Chisi is being sabotaged.
Okay.
He should hear this. President Chisi, you are being sabotaged. You are being sabotaged by your own people. The people who are with you, they do not help the president.
All right.
Yes, that's the fact. I must say, this is someone I would wish to perform very well.
Yeah, of course.
And there are things that Chisi is doing fine. And I must appreciate that. Yeah. But he's being sabotaged by Tian. And
what is we also here for that matter? And what of final ones out there, they are stupid of which they are not.
Ngini mene kufunika manova. Dola, zama, finale, zibwezedwe.
Refund.
Ngani haikula kwa mbili hapa ndio na dola zama finale zidani?
Zibwezedwe.
They must get their money because it's their money. They deserve it.
Okay.
I mean, if there was a sponsorship that we never expected, DK gave us 5 million plus an extra. So we are saying to say, ndalama za inu wake zibwezedwe.
Apatsidwe.
And tikamagamba zobweza ndalamazi. I'm talking about ineo maximum naika Wednesday. I'm talking about Wednesday winaweza kawi ndalama yake watani. Waitenga.
Alright, so we are talking about refund. So the question is, how much is every person getting?
Man, ineo from the look of things, ndika nakala ndine kupanga calculate china chichonse. Ndalama.
Yankulani tukuva.
Edgar, should I mention it?
We are talking to all finalists.
I should leave people to decide.
Man, you have to mention, man.
Okay. I may not be so sure on the exact amount.
Okay, all right.
I say people, they deserve 40k above, man.
All right.
They deserve 40k above.
Get 40,000.
Goma on conditions.
All right.
Ngati esasi inga pereke drama inaonjeza kuti apereka artist each. People should be given 70k yours. Indega, Mesa, they promise they are going to pay the artist. They are going to pay the artist. It means that money will add on top of the 13 million. It means people must be refunded drama yao yonse.
Manga SRC yo inalonjeza kuti akufuna apatsidwe drama yonse mene Committe apanga assemble.
Ukundiva? Ineo siyo wamisala. Nani nakale poyamba kaje. Ineo ndukona ngati kape.
Sino.
Okay, then ndukunena kuti someone may say, can you justify your position? Ineo ndukupanga justify zimene ndukuyangwa in this way. Pari decoration, pari security, pari ena onseyo payment yao kumukuzwa kumene ikhoza kuchokera. Mesa SRC naonjeza kuti the artist kuma sina lipire. Atenge dollars zimene zo alipire ku drama imene na Committe inatenga kuwapasa hawa ibwezedwe drama yonse ibwezedwe kwa inu wake. As simple as it is. So I don't know whatever they may happen that side, but at least those are my thoughts.
All right.
Anyway, if anything happens, drama ibwezedwe is a chepele 40,000.
Okay. All right, Mata. Reaching this far, what are the strategies to be followed in order for people to get back their money? Because just today, we have received a letter from SRC, of which is just an apology letter. And as far as I've read it, I haven't seen anything talking about refund.
Mani, musa na malize fusulano. Sisi ufunika so strategy is easy. It is I know how these things work.
Simple as ABCD.
It is as simple as this. The head of finance should make a requisition. Inenda kama SRC. That's why requisitions zunguzisiwa. A head of finance SRC alembe requisition. That requisition should be attached the communication yochokera an official write up yochokera kwandani kwa GS. Kupita kwa dosa kuna kuti apange authorize payment ya ndalama imene committee inalipira kwa iwo. This money is going back kwa kumene inachokera. As simple as it is. Sizofunika so kuna kuti energy ina iliyonse. Ai, zungofunika as simple as it is. They understand. They should do that as simple as it is. Mwantendere. You know what? You know what? You know, I know Unima. That is a peaceful approach. You are talking about strategies, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
This is not even a strategy. It is something that's obvious. Apange. Should that fail to happen? Should that fail to happen? Finalists are here. Finalists know where the office of the president is.
Of course, yeah.
Finalists know where the office of the dosa is. So it is as simple as mundu wa muimbira phone. Pa, man, kadola kaife kajati magafuna, nzama tundi yawe, ndesa kupereka. What do? You voluntarily walk to their doorstep. I say, antabwera uzatenga kandama kanga kaja. Mwinake munali busy, simu kanapita pa agent ukatumiza. Mwinake munali busy, simu kanatani, simu kanabwera. If tabwera uzatani, tabwera uzatenga kadola. So it's simple. Ndekuti if it doesn't work that way, now it will be simple. It will be my finalists anyway. Bwera, come. Kubweza ndalama ndizovuta. Yeah, I know. Kubweza ndalama.
This was one of the guys who was in the committee.
Yes. And he's a very trusted individual.
We are talking about refund to the people.
Bro, do you think it's zovuta?
We caught Charles Manda in here.
Si zovuta.
10-9.
People trusted you with their money.
Yes.
70,000 each person.
Yes.
Of which you received so much money, close to how many millions, if I may question you?
Yeah, it was close to... I shouldn't give it the figure because...
Exact figure.
Okay, how many people paid?
201.
201.
Yes.
So everyone can calculate. We have calculators.
Yeah.
Yes.
70,000 times 201.
Yeah.
So we have the figure in our hands.
Yes.
And all that money has not been used.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But you should take this in consideration. Right? We guys, we had terms and conditions. when giving the money to SRC.
Yes.
And then, when writing the proposals, we didn't use finale dinner committee. We are using SRC as the body so that we should get the funds. We should get trusted by the what? People who should give us the funds. So even kuchoka pano papa chango pano kuvaya kwa Ameris as class of 2025 without SRC, it wasn't an easy thing.
Yeah.
Right? We needed a trusted body. So SRC was trying.
Not trusted body. Is it trusted? Reaching this far?
Let me tell you more. I'm coming there. SRC come here ina bwela nkati. Zatu za mafana. There is money here. Ifeso inuyo mafinali so drama zanu. Zomwe timapangidwa deduct. Mwakumbukira? Ma subscription fee.
In fact, tinareza subscription fees kutoka pa subscription fee about 10,000. And anandi kugira eneo kama we had a vision. Something must work.
Yeah,
of course.
Those people promised us a huge amount of money. SRC kuti tika kondalama izi. Ede? Tika kondalama izi plus ya yotolelayo. Drama jana ya mbili.
Exactly. And the rest would have been satisfied.
So you should know that if we are like, okay, zabobo. Anatuza 4 days before mukatola ndramazo mutipasa. Ede? Tinawapasa budget. Ndrama zomwe tatolera zonse kupanga na create off.
Mwina ndingo muhoda teva pang'ono. Andiso yumewanda kunena kuti funso imene mafinali amayankhula kunena kuti ndi chifukwa chani komiti inatenga ndalama ndikuipasa SRC. Zimene akuyankha papa. There was this condition yonena kuti ife pokhapoka tatenga dolazo afinali dina komiti itatenga ndalama ndikuwapasa iwo aja. That's the only condition on that one. Pamene awaka natenga naso ndalama zao ndikuphatikizawo pati. Failing which Saga napanga. So if we wanted this money.
We wanted the funds.
The committee dinner wanted the money from SRC's account. I think now my finance are going to understand pamene. Komano the point made dinner papa njona kuti a refund must take place and people must receive their money as soon as possible.
How many days are we talking about?
Okay, we are talking about Wednesday. Ineo ndikupanga suggest za Wednesday.
Today is Monday.
Yes.
So
We are talking about Wednesday.
Yes.
Ineo, I don't have.
I just wanted to say this. People, you are blaming a lot the committee.
Yeah. No one is blaming the people are just angry. Okay, people are angry and it's understandable. Ena kulisa mbuzi kumuzi. Kuti apite ku finale.
Okay, ndeto kunena kuti anthu akaonera podcast hii akaonera this interview, they must understand it to say kunena kuti it was not the wish of the finale dinner committee that they entrusted to handle this thing kuti zingine iflope chonchi. Zatengera mayalo enake kuti zinthu zifoire. Nanga kugwisa ntchito zina kuti yalo ndikulako.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mata. All right. Reaching this far, this is a Unima podcast, and today we wanted to have this interview with the former SRC president, Mr. Thanks Elia Mwalwanda. I think we had to reveal something else that is still not understandable clearly to the finalists, and to aliyesa kwenika kuzozote ndrama zawo alandira and a refund is going to be made. Don't say tikhale maunyinji ngati ndrama sizipelekedwa mafinale mukuziwa zochita ngati mera kambira pakhomopo pokafika kupaziwa. And thanks Elia zakhala pasogolo pathu makomiti member waso tizanyamula tizapita nawo limodzi mpaka nali yese ndrama zake zikhale nthumba. Tathokoza mwaonga chomene Mata. Pamene kumana pano ndi pabwalo la milandu. Pali zinthu zambiri zimene zikuyeneka kukambidwa malingana ndi zimene anthu akudandaula kunjaku. Koma tisanapitilize ndifunse kaye kuti muzifotokoze. What's your name, Mata?
First of all, thank you for having me at this place. It is a pleasure that I have a chance to maybe clarify on some of the things that people are not conversant with, especially with the dinner. But first of all, I'm Charles Manda,
All right.
a fourth-year student pursuing Bachelor of Arts in Public Administration.
That's great.
Yeah, so I have 17 days to go.
All right.
I know,
Amazing.
yes, I have 17 days to go. So I was, and I'm still, because I think the issues are not yet done. The chairperson of the class of 2025 finale dinner.
All right.
Yeah, so yeah, that's how far I can go.
All right, Mata. Okay, focus yathu kwambiri ikhale pa you being the chairperson of the finale dinner, of which is a story is still been talked about. Ilinka mwaka pakadali pano kwa mafinale onse amene ali kunjaku. Nkhani yavuta ndi mene ndalama zayendera. Anthu adapereka ndalama pafupifupi 70,000 kuti akhale ndi mwayi opita komwe kwa Malelisi Hotel kumene amayeneka kuti akapange phwando kumene kumadyerero kusangalala kuti they have passed through a lot from first year that was in 2021 up to date. Nokha mukudziwa kuti pakatipa pamakhala mikwingwirima. So reaching this far, anthu have struggled a lot, anthu avutika, ena kugulitsa mbuzi m'mamidzimu, ena kutere kuti apeze kandalamako. So pano kupereka ndalama ija nkupezeka kuti apita kuja zikumveka kuti zinthu sizidali limene zimayeneka kutani kuchitikira iyayi. So tikufuna tifunse kuti kodi why do we have this confusion? Why pali manong'onong'o kuti ndalama sizinayende bwino ndipo pakuyeneka kuti pakhale madongosolo mufotokoze kwa anthu kuti chachitika ndi chani, aliyense adziwe kuti mwina mwake pomakhala kuti pafika madzulo alero akamagona azigona mtima ulimiya mutafotokoza.
First of all, since like I said in the introduction, I'm also a final year student, so I've been looking forward to having a finale dinner, and my wish has always been that we should have a dinner that has never been experienced on campus. So that's why, as a committee, we had tried to put in each and every effort to make sure that the dinner should be something that should be memorable, should be an experience that every student has to appreciate by the end of the day.
That's true.
So I understand that there are so many controversial issues regarding the dinner, mismanagement of the funds, and some people not expecting, not having the things that they expected.
Yeah, of course.
But then, before I go far, I would also love to be given a direction as into what exactly should I address in the first place?
All right.
Is it about the mismanagement of funds, or maybe not having the event as people expected it would be on that day?
So pachiyambi pa zonse anthu akuyeneka kudziwa kuti ndalama zinanyamuka bwanji kuchoka m'manja mwanu, of which ndinu amene mumalandira ndalama zonse anthu akalipira ma 70,000 zinachoka bwanji kuchoka kwa inu nkukapezeka zili mu banki kapena m'manja mwa SRC.
In English, I should also say that, like I said, I'm also one of the final year students. The committee was was comprised of the final year students. So we were like the owners of the wedding who needed to be hosted by the SRC.
Yes, of course.
And initially, and as usual, the finale dinner is being hosted by the SRC. All the past years, they also give in sponsorship. However, the difficulties from the beginning, like the past 4 months, the SRC was not yet cleared on handling the dinner, simply because last year there were issues to do with money issues and the likes. So there were some controversial issues about money management issues and the like. So the DOS has been trying to make sure that those issues were cleared, the financial report, so that the SRC should come in with new structures of managing people's money, especially dinner money. Now, all along for the past 4 months, it's the dinner committee, the finale dinner committee from the final year students that has been handling everything, because the SRC had not yet been cleared. So that's why we had set the budget, we had collected all the necessary data, and then we also set the pricing and the likes for the dinner. And initially, the money for the dinner, every student, as per the budget, should have maybe contributed around 100,000 plus. But then the committee subsidized it because the SRC had promised to come in with money to 70,000 kwash. And then we proceeded with the arrangements of the dinner without the SRC, simply because the SRC had not yet been cleared. Now, 2 weeks to the event, the DOSA had set in new conditions for the SRC on how they would have to manage this year's dinner. If
tukufuna timve kuti ndalama munanyamula bwanji chifukwa mukufotokoza that of structure.
That's where I'm going.
Chabwino.
So we had been we had set everything, we had set the contributions, and we started collecting the money. And almost to the end, 2 weeks before, the DOSA had cleared the SRC. Mm-hmm. Now it meant that the SRC had the capacity to handle students' money. So since we said, as usual, the SRC hosts the event, organizes the event, and being a formal committee, a formal body that can be accounted for, that can be answerable. We needed the money to be in formal structures, because us as a committee, we are it's very hard to hold us accountable in money management. But if the money gets into the SRC account, it would be very much safer than in our own hands. So the committee saw it wise to hand over money to the SRC, so that on that day, we should be the people also to enjoy the event just like our friends. So we had handed them over the money, so that they can formally
kwanitse kuwafotokozera anthu kuti ndalamazo zidalipo zingati chifukwa mmalandira ndinu mudali acheya.
Okay, I would just give approximate figures, because I think there are also issues with the SRC. So as a committee, the money that we handed over to the SRC was over 12.9 million. That is what we handed over to the SRC.
Okay.
Yes, over 12.9 million. The very exact figures.
Over 12.9 tizipita kuma 13.
Yes,
okay.
You can go as far as that.
All right.
But over 12.9, that means the list should be 12.9 million.
All right.
Yeah, I can't account for the tambalas because it's for the treasurer.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so that's how the money ended up into the SRC's account. In the SRC's hands, I should say so.
All right.
So we formally handed over money to the SRC, which was supposed to be deposited into the SRC account. And we believe that by giving them money, they could easily be accounted for. Chifukwa ndrama singatuluke ku SRC account without the signature of the dosa.
Okay.
So we thought it wise that the money would be safe. So this committee, as of now, did not handle money issues with regards to the dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, except for some of the services that we had paid in advance, because we needed to print tickets and the likes, all those kinds of things.
All right.
But then all the money that we had as in cash and bank, we had given to the SRC.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Matala. Ndiyeno ndamva mukukamba za matiketi ndi ma expenses ena. Kodi kagulidwe ka zinthu zimenezi, matikiti and other expenses that have been made, zikugwirizana ndi 12.9 million imene munayipereka ku SRC kapena it's different from that money?
No, it's when we say zikugwirizana, it's part of the contributions, but it's not part of the money that we gave to the SRC.
Okay.
Yes, but we provided the receipts of payments for the services that we had paid in advance to the SRC, so that if they add up with the money that we gave them, it can equal to the number of people who contributed.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did not, the money that we gave after removing these expenses, in fact, it was just less than 400,000 wash. So removing this less than 400,000 wash, we should say over 12.9 million
was given
to the SRC. Then on top of that, there are receipts worth more than 300,000 washa.
Zimene zinali zitapangidwa kale sold.
Yes. We talk about the artworks, designing the voting platform, and then we also talk about printing of tickets. Yeah.
All right. Izo zo zili clear.
Yeah.
Now, tipange no focus the confusion that has been caused. Kodi misunderstanding imeneyi ikubwerako kamba kanji?
Okay, like I said, I'm very much disappointed, just as the final year students are disappointed, for two reasons, maybe for three reasons. The payments to the service providers were not made at a time it was expected. Yes. And I should say that the payments were not made to the service providers at the dinner day, during the dinner day. So when we expected, let's say, for example, to have the artist, the SRC had not made payments for that. So you cannot have Namadingo come for an event like that one without being paid, at least an advanced payment.
All right.
I do not know. I'm not in the capacity to answer on behalf of the SRC as into why such payments were not made. Then we also talk about the venue and the meals. So Daliso Gabambe had who was initially our guest of honor, had committed to sponsor to pay 5 million towards the food and the venue. So the SRC had their own balance to settle towards the same. Not the SRC, but from our money. But Nangasi, the money was in the hands of the SRC. So it had to settle part of that money for 5.5 million what. So that together with the Kabambe's sponsorship, it should equal the money for the food and the venue. So when we were arriving there, the money had not been settled. No single money had been settled. So it shocked us. It shocked the committee, and we were disappointed because in our initial plans, that was not how we thought we would handle things. And should have the money been in our hands, that is how we should have. We should have done those things maybe hours or days before the event.
All right, Matana.
Yeah. But since we had handed over, we did not have the capacity to say those are sign in Ndalama and zilo kujan kwesa account.
Okay, chabwino. Straight to the point. Apa vari kugamba kuti ndrama yonse imene mudaipasa SRC 12 million, 12.9 over that amount. Sinagwirisidweko ntchito ngakhale 1 kwacha.
Okay. As at that date, Friday, the dinner day, no money had been released by the SRC.
Mukati as of that date zikutanthauza kuti pofika tsiku la lero pagwirisidwako ntchito ndalama.
Okay. Yes. There may be chances that because the SRC made commitments. Let's talk about the decorations, the decorations personnel.
Decorations?
Yes, and then you also had the sound system, the MC. We also had an official photographer.
Okay.
So those are the payments that maybe today the SRC has made.
Okay.
Because they made those commitments that they would make payments today.
All right.
But the money that was, for example, planned for food is no longer coming from the money of the students.
Tikuchotserapo ndalama ya chakudya, ndalama ya venue. Zonsezi zinali zitapangidwa kale sort. Kutanthauza zokuti they still have got so much money to refund to the people.
I'm very confident that there is too much money for the people.
All right.
Yeah. Every student, at least every person who contributed money should be able to get a refund, a portion of the refund after paying the service providers.
All right.
So this committee, the finale dinner committee, is in a position to tell how much money approximately could go for the expenses that were incurred. Because if you talk about transport, some students used their own money, which was so disappointing. Because at that time, since the money could not come out, I do not know what was happening within the SRC. They are in a position to answer that. I cannot answer on their behalf. But then at a time when we needed transport, there was no authorization for the release of funds for transport. That's why there were so many problems, casualties, and the likes. The people delayed to reach at the event because our initial plan as a committee was that at least by 3, everyone should be in Blantyre. Or at least by 4, everyone should be in Blantyre. Because we talk about girls having appointments and the likes for their makeups and the likes. But those things did not happen. So the SRC cannot account for the transport cost. And since the SRC made commitments towards the dinner that they are going to sponsor part of the dinner, then it is by default that I think, in my view, as the chairperson, that money for transport should come from the SRC's initial commitments towards the dinner. But then, from the look of things, we can use the students' contributions towards the decorations and the MCs and the likes. But by the end of the day, there has to be too much money that has to be left that we can.
Okay, chabwino. Okay, ndifunseko kuti ndalamazo potumiza. All right, kupita ku account ya SRC. Sizidavute kutero ayi. Mwina it was even sent, in seconds. Koma nona ngabwanja patukamba zankhani yoti ndalamazo zichotsedweko. Aini akalandire ndalama zawo zikuchita kutenga madongosolo komanso zichito tigwire apa mungafotokozeko kuti chikuchitika ndi chiyani m'maofesi.
We have just come out of a weekend, number one.
All right.
And there are service providers that need to be. Okay, this is from an administrative point of view. There are service providers that have to be settled. So maybe the DOSA does not want to give the committee money so that they should start paying my service providers because it's the SRC that made commitments. But I believe by the end of today, they should have sorted out the service providers. And by tomorrow, with the plans of the committee, we should be able to make a move as in to get the money that is remaining.
All right.
Because the money easily went into the SRC's hands. Whatever happened with the money in the hands of the SRC is not the concern of the committee. But this committee is of the view that all the money has to come back. But if the SRC makes commitments to say that they are going to use some of the money to pay the service providers, the committee would have to request the receipts of payments to the service providers so that we should subtract from the money that we gave them. And then the money that we gave them, the remaining money has to go back to the people who contributed.
All right.
Because, yes.
So as to make assurance to the disappointed fourth year students, tikugamba kuti refund ichitika ndithu yet.
It is students' money. It is not SRC money.
Okay.
So that money has to come back.
All right.
In our plans at the committee, we are trying to make sure that it comes as quickly as possible. Not even by Wednesday.
All right.
It has to come back.
All right.
Should anything fail, it is their money. It's up to them to act to get it, or else.
Yeah, apa tikambeso za should do anything if I don't get.
Okay, because I know bureaucracy. I know how bureaucracy works. So sometimes we might also, while we are saying we're looking at it from a simple point of view, but for money to come out of the SRC account to come back to students' hands, it's very difficult. But that is what we want. We want that money to come as it went. It went in cash to the SRC who deposited it. The SRC has to go and withdraw it. They have to give us. We have to distribute it. The SRC is not responsible for distributing that money because they are not the ones who collected the money. If they failed to spend the money, then they have to give us, and then we have to give it to the people who own it.
All right.
Yes, yes.
Komano, as the history tells us, chilungamo chikavuta anthu amayamba kupangano ziwawa. Cholinga tinge chinthu chimene ndi chawo. Chifukwa zili ngati apa patsopano anthu they are begging for their own money. Their hard-earned money that they paid to have some fun, to enjoy, apa kuvutika nosopano kuti ndalama zija azitenge pamene akudziwa kuti ndalama zonse zidakali mchikwama zili nguu sizinagwiritsidwe ntchito yani. Ndiyeno tawapangeni assure anthu mwati how many days do we have from now kuti mwina mwake ndalama zathu zibwerere? Zifunikira mpaka week, 7 days, 14 days, kapena how many days are we talking about?
In the view of the committee, we wanted to make sure that the money should at least be in our hands by today.
All right.
Yeah, but then due to some logistical challenges, or maybe I should say so, or maybe technical challenges that we are facing, it might be delayed. But we don't want money to still be in the SRC account by the end of tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll keep students updated. We haven't said anything as of now. It's only, yes, we have just gotten the letter from the SRC president. I hope the students have read it. So that means that letter is a sign that is an assurance to the students that their money is with the SRC. So the committee for now is not liable for the money because the money is in the hands of the SRC. But since we are the ones who collected the money from the students, then we have to make efforts to get it back from wherever we put it. Yes. The money has to come back. Should the committee feel constrained, I have to repeat, should the committee feel constrained to get the money back on its own, then we are also ready to get people, the owners of the money, to go and get the money back. But by all means, the money has to get back.
Ngati ino acheya zikavuta zinthu ndiye kuti munyamulaso anthu anu ndikuwatsogolera njira imene akuyeneka kupanga kuti ndalama zawonso zibwerere sechoncho.
Yes. Because I'm the one who is responsible.
All right.
We, the committee, are the ones who are responsible. People cannot go and, let's say, for example, ask the SRC to say, where is our money? Because they did not give them money.
All right, sir.
You see, so it's just the same. We give taxes to the government.
All right.
We hold it responsible to say, why are you misusing taxes? You see?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Chabu. Ineyo pamaperopa zonse amwene ndithokoze. It was such a fruitful discussion, and I hope each and every fourth year guy there has heard what we have discussed. And my colleagues, I want to assure you that the money is coming. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Tathokoza.
Can I say
God bless.
my final words?
Yeah, you can say your final words.
Yeah. So to the final year students, just know that the committee had worked so hard, like so hard through thick and thin to get the event done, only to be frustrated in the end due to some I do not know if there were personal ambitions or whatever.
Yes.
Being frustrated by some personal behaviors, conducts that had frustrated the efforts that we had put in.
Yeah.
I said it initially that we are also final year students who wanted to enjoy the event. We wanted to have namading. We wanted to have the best of the food.
That is true.
We did not want you to be packed like sacks in the bus. We wanted you to have comfortable transport to the venue and back from the venue.
Yes, on.
It was very disappointing that I heard later on that some people had traveled to as far as they started off from the venue around 5 a.m.
Yes.
It was very disappointing.
Zona.
I'm disappointed because I did not have the event that I expected. And it hurts me that the efforts that the whole committee had put in for 4 months have been frustrated by some very few individuals just because they did not follow procedures with regards to money. If they had followed what the DOSA had given them, then maybe this would not be talking about money issues today.
All right.
We would have the best event that we had expected.
All right.
But above all, I'm very determined, and the committee is working so hard to make sure that your money comes back.
All right.
Your money is not with us, but your money will be with us, and then when it is with us, it will be with you back into your hands.
It's assurance.
Yes, we'll map the way forward.
All right.
Should anything come forward, we'll come and update you, and then we should all together figure the way forward on how best to get the money back. It is our money. It is not SRC money.
All right,
we already gave them the money. They did not want to use it. We have given them another money. They did not want to manage it. So we'll get it back and we'll give it back to you.
All right, Mata.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Tathokoza. Ndalama zibwerera ndito.
Money will come. I said the jump level is
Yeah, I said. Akujambule wewe.
I
Akujambule phone yema jambula.